Hi Mount Carmel, Nurse David here. I have another little quick lesson for you, and today I'm going to talk about how to best wear and manage your cloth face covering. So we know that cloth face coverings act as a barrier, and they can help me to prevent my germs from coming in contact with somebody else. So coughs and sneezes and things like that, and just germs that I breathe out are going to be caught with that cloth face covering that I'm wearing. But there's a couple of things you have to know about them. You have to know how to wear them correctly. You have to know how to take them off and store them correctly, how to clean them correctly. And most importantly, you have to recognize that a cloth face covering doesn't take away my need to do other things that are really important in terms of preventing virus spread. And that's going to mean staying physically distant from other people, and it's going to mean staying home when I'm sick and also paying attention to hand washing. So I've washed my hands before I'm going to put my cloth face covering on, and I also, as an extra layer of protection, I'm going to use a little hand sanitizer. So I've washed my hands for 20 seconds, I've said the Our Father, I'm putting a little bit of hand sanitizer on, and now I'm ready to go and put my cloth face covering on. I want you to make sure that your cloth face covering is in a bag when it's not on you. You have it in a bag, see I have my name on my bag so that I know which face covering is mine if I was in a classroom situation and there's a chance that they could get mixed up. So I've got my bag with my name and my mask is inside that. So once I've cleaned my hands and I'm taking my cloth face covering out. Now you notice on mine, I have taken a Sharpie and I have put my initials on the side of it. Again, so if you're are at home and everybody's got a cloth face covering and you want to know which one is yours, you can mark it with your initials. That'll also be helpful at school, so we make sure that people keep their cloth face covering or their mask for them only. So whenever I'm working with my face covering, I make sure that I'm touching the edges of it only. I don't want to touch the front of it. That's what I want to stay germ-free, and especially this side, which is going to go up against my face. If you'll remember, and I'm going to put this down for a moment, but if you'll remember, kindergartners, I've taught you that we make our hands into a T. I kind of put that over my face, and anywhere the T-zone is, my eyes, my nose, my mouth, that's where germs can easily enter our body. So that's the purpose of the face covering, is to kind of block off part of that T-zone, my nose and my mouth. So I'm picking up my face covering like this. I want to touch only the ear loops or the ties if you have one that ties. When I put it on, I'm going to put it over my ears. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that it's covering my nose and my mouth. Now, this feels a little uncomfortable to me. I feel like it needs to be adjusted over my nose, and I don't quite feel like my chin, it feels comfortable on my chin. So to adjust my face covering, not going to touch the front of it, any of the part that's here in the T-zone, I'm going to adjust it using my ear loops. And so I can easily do that just by doing this, and then I make sure my chin is covered, I make sure my nose is covered, I make sure my mouth is covered. When I have my face covering on, at any time if I start to feel a little lightheaded, or I feel dizzy, or if I feel thirsty, I need to take my mask off, maybe take a break. I would want to make sure that I'm not really close to somebody. If I'm standing next to one of my classmates, or if I'm standing next to Mr. Gracetta or Dr. Shoebridge or my teacher, I don't want to take my face covering off at that time. I would back away so that I'm physically distanced from them. And then to remove my mask, again, I only want to touch those ear loops. I don't want to touch my face. I can take my mask off. Once I've taken my mask off, I brought it away from my face. I don't want to do this, because then all of my germs that are in here are going to be spread all over. So I want to be really careful about what I do once I take my mask off. So I'm going to put this back on for just a second. Okay, so after I've taken my mask off and I've carefully folded it edge to edge, I'm going to put it into my Ziploc bag, zip it up, and then really important, I'm going to go back. I'm going to wash my hands 20 seconds, use a little hand sanitizer, and then I'm ready to go. So we always want to do hand hygiene before we touch our mask, either putting it on and taking it off. And then it's sealed up, my covering in my bag, and then I can put this in my backpack, or I can put it in my cubby so it stays with my thing. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things that aren't good. We have to be really careful about keeping in mind that this mask has germs on it. And so we want to be really mindful of that. If I'm wearing a cloth face covering and socially distancing and keeping my hands clean and doing all of those things, if I forget about how germy this can be and I'm careless with this, that kind of defeats the purpose. So I don't want to take my mask or my face covering that I've had on and just kind of drop it someplace. I don't want it on my desk. I don't want to just take it and stuff it in my pocket. I don't want to just take it and stuff it in my backpack. That defeats the purpose. Again, has a lot of germs on it, and we need to think about it as being kind of something that's a little bit germy. And so if I'm wearing my cloth face covering and at any point in time the inside of it becomes wet, maybe I've sneezed, maybe I've coughed, maybe I've been sweating, and the inner surface that's next to my face becomes damp, I need to change my face covering. And so I would like you all to have a backup face covering, so if one becomes soiled, you can replace it with a fresh one. In fact, when you see video of healthcare providers and they've got their face mask on and they've got their shields on and they have what we call PPE, they don't wear that same set of PPE all day long. In fact, surgical mask, as a nurse working in the hospital, when I had a surgical mask on, I'm changing that between every patient. Those are disposable. So I'm changing my mask frequently and not wearing the same mask all day long. So because we're in a situation where we are wearing our masks for longer, it's really, really important that they be kept clean. So when you take your mask home each day, or your cloth face covering, either word is okay, when you take it home each day in the bag, make sure that it's getting washed. And that's another good reason to have two face coverings, because while this one is being laundered, I can use this one and then come back to school the next day with my two cloth face coverings. Another couple things just in terms of wearing them, kind of what's right and what's wrong. Again, I'm going to use my ear loops, put my mask on. I'm going to reposition it. We're going to do a couple of don'ts. We don't want to walk around like this with my mask just hanging off my ear, figuring, oh, this way when I need it, it's right there and I pull it up. Again, all the germs that I'm trying to prevent from getting into my T-zone are being collected right here, and then I put my mask on, so that's not a good idea. And then also the germs that have collected, I'm sharing with everybody. Not a good idea. We also want to avoid this, okay? It's not helping cover my entire airway, it's just covering my mouth, okay? A lot of things that could be in my nose too, so that's not good. This one's not good. I know beards are all in fashion, but this doesn't work. The other one is this. They're not sunglasses, okay? So, face coverings are helpful. They do decrease the potential spread of germs, but we have to be very careful with them too, because they themselves can become germy things. So stay tuned. We'll be putting out more videos and giving you more information in the next coming weeks, all to help us be smart, healthy, and holy. See you soon, Mount Carmel.